Well, hello. This is Bev on Fabulously Functioning. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making meatless chili. Meatless chili. And if I have time, I'm going to add some hot water cornbread to that. And this is part of the heart healthy diet that I am creating and building for my husband and subsequently for my clientele when I'm back up and running again, Bev's Midday Cafe. But I wanted to make some of this meatless chili. It's a beautiful, gorgeous fall day today. I took a walk and it was a little crisp in the air, but a nice jacket kept me warm, but the sun was still shining. And I thought about making some of that meatless chili that my husband thoroughly enjoyed several days ago and told me, be sure and put that when you're up and running again, Bill, be sure and put that one on the menu. So here I am in my little kitchen and I'm going to begin to prepare this meatless chili so you can see how I make it, and hopefully you'll try it yourself. And for those of you who are some of my regular customers, when I put it on the menu after seeing me make it, you may just want to have some or order some. Okay, so I'm going to adjust my camera just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing back over this way, over here on the cutting board. Production. Production. So I'm going to pull it in just a little bit right here. And so you can see my cutting board right here. And a little bit of me. You don't need to see as much of me as you need to see what I'm doing. So in this meatless chili, I have Tri-Bean Blend. Okay, these are Simple Truth Organic from Kroger. And so it has dark red kidney beans, pinto beans, and black beans. And it's organic, non-GMO, just perfect for the kind of diet that Dr. Woodard and I are on. So I've got 2 cans of it, and I love the easy open cans that we have here. So I've got that. We're going to have fresh parsley in there. Of course, you got to have onion. Not going to have fresh garlic, but I got plenty of garlic powder. Organic vegetable stock. Okay, got that. Celery. And just so you know, this is my celery keeper by Tupperware. And so what I do is I clean and cut up my celery, and then I put, I fill it up halfway with distilled water, and this is how I store my celery in my refrigerator. And it keeps it so crisp and nice. And when you want a piece of celery, this is what you do. You just pull it up out of here, take the celery you want, and whatever you don't want, you push it right back down in there. Okay. Celery is a very good food, a very good vegetable. It's good for your bones. It's good for the immune system. It's good for virility. I just thought I would throw that out there. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take some of this out and go ahead and cut it up. And put it in this bowl over here. And I need to get some oil. Gotta get some oil. Because I'm going to need just a little bit of oil, not a lot. Sorry about that. So I'm going to take some of this celery, cut it up first. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead over here in this pan. I'll turn your attention. I'm going to put about 1 or 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil, which has 0 cholesterol. Hey now. 0 cholesterol. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my pan on over here and let it just begin to warm up. But meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and chop up some of this celery. I think I'll use about, how many stalks do I want? Take 1. That's a nice fat one. It's a short, stubby one. 1. I think that should be a nice amount of celery. love my little teeny small paring knife here. So I don't know how you all cut your celery, but I cut it 3 ways horizontally, and then, 3 ways vertically, and then I go horizontal. So I've done all my vertical, and so now I'm going to go horizontal, right across. It's not too small, but it's not too big. It's a nice medium chop. It just makes it easier. Of course, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to saute my vegetables first. Whenever I do a chili or anything, or meat sauce, I always saute my vegetables first. So, okay, so there's my celery. My beautiful celery. That's about a cup of celery, which is plenty of celery. Some people don't desire even that much. So it's about a cup of celery. And I want to do the same amount for onion. So I've got here one of my large onions, some piece left from a very large onion that I took from my daughter's house. I said, girl, give me this onion. You ain't cooking nothing. And so I'm still using this onion. It's huge. She likes to buy them big so that they last. So when I come over there and cook, I've always got onion because I'm always cooking with onion. But yeah, this is white onion that I'm using, which is a good onion for chili, a white onion. Okay, and I'm going to chop it up. Not so fine, but it's a coarse chop. Again, this is about a cup of white onions. I'm going to put that over here, in here. I'll set this over here, this container. All right, and then I have some beautiful Italian flat leaf parsley that I want to add to my vegetables when I get ready to saute here. So I'm just going to pull a few of these out of here. I'm going to wash them off, and then I'm going to pull what I want off of here and cut it up. So, well, I think I'm going to have to pull them all the way out and unband the parsley. Okay. Which way is this band going? There it is. Okay. So, I'm going to take, I think that's enough. What do you think? And it's beautiful. I better get just one more branch, because I love the flavor of parsley. I'm going to set this over here. I'm going over here and rinse this parsley off. Normally I would do a bath, a baking soda bath, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to thoroughly rinse it, because if there's anything on here, it's not going to live once I put it in this hot pan. All right, it's nice and thoroughly rinsed. So I'm going to just kind of take my paring knife and I'm going to drag it upwards towards the leaves like that and take them off of the stems. Put the stems over here, and then we're going to go through and just continue to take the smaller stems away. And then I'll chop it up. Once again, do a medium chop, not a coarse chop, not a fine chop, but a medium chop. And I think that's pretty much all the stem. So I'm going to do, just kind of fold it up like so, like that. Oh, that's a long piece of stem. I know what that. Okay, and then cut it up like that. Fold it once again, like that. Like that, and like that. Okay, and I'm going to throw that in there with the onion and the celery. And when I start simmering this, the aroma is just amazing whenever you do greens like that. Okay, so I'm going to turn your attention to my pan right here. This pan right here. And I'm going to take these veggies. And I already have 2 tablespoons of my sunflower oil in here. And I'm going to go ahead and add those in there just like that. Stir them. I turn my fire up just a little bit. And let that just simmer in that oil. Not a lot of oil. 1 or 2 tablespoons is really all you need. And even though it doesn't have any cholesterol, it still is oil. And with Dr. Woodard wanting to reverse some of his coronary artery disease, whatever kind of oil it is, you still have to back up on it. Okay, and so that's cooking nicely. Looks beautiful. I'll show it to you. And I'm just going to let that continue to simmer. And then I'm going to turn your attention back over this way. And we've got some fresh bicolor corn. Let me turn this down. It's trying to cut up. Got some fresh bicolor corn. That's the other thing I added to this recipe. So I think I just need about 2 ears of corn. I probably won't need more than 2 ears. I'm going to just rinse these again. Give them a thorough rinse. Alright, so I've given them a thorough rinse. Next thing I'm going to do is grab me a little plate right here. I've got my little corn cobber here. I'm going to cut off the corn. I do it in 2 layers. Okay, so that's my first layer, and then I come back around. The one thing I like about this second layer is you get the juice from the corn, which adds great flavor to this meatless chili. So that's 1 cup. Let's do the second one. This is my first layer. I don't care what tool you use to take corn off the cob. It just flies everywhere. But this one, it prevents it from flying even farther. Alright, that's my first layer. I'm going around to the second layer of corn. Make sure I get all the juice and all the corn. And when you do the corn in layers, it keeps it from being tough. That's why I like to do it in layers too. When I do fried corn, I do it in layers because it keeps it from being tough. Alright. Okay, so got my corn ready. The next thing I'm going to do is open up my beans. And I'm going to drain the juice off of them because I don't want the juice from the beans. I want to make my own juice. Okay, so here's 1 can of beans. And here is my second can of beans. It's a beautiful tricolor blend of beans. You've got your red kidney beans, your pinto beans, and of course your black beans. Okay, and these are all organic. And it's the organic line tri-bean blend. by Simple Truth Organic, and you can get this at Kroger. So, got my beans. Get rid of this stuff. Got my corn. Got my beans. All right, now that is smelling heavenly. That is smelling heavenly. The onions, the celery, and the flat leaf Italian parsley. Now, it's becoming translucent a little bit, but I think I want it to be just a little bit more translucent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of this organic vegetable stock to kind of help it along. And another thing I'm going to do is add just a pinch of Himalayan salt. What did I do with it? Here it is. A pinch of pink Himalayan salt. When I say a pinch, I do mean a pinch. So I'm going to stick my hand down in here and I'm going to get a pinch. And the one thing salt does is it releases the flavor from the vegetables and causes them to become even more translucent, which is a good thing. And it just brings out the flavor in the veggies before you add anything else to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you the seasonings I'm using. So I use what is called nutritional yeast seasoning by Bragg's, and these are the same people that make the apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. Wonderful yeast. If you want some kind of flavor and you don't want to keep using salt, or you just want to enhance other ingredients, this is wonderful. And it's wonderful just to sprinkle over your vegetables once you've cooked them, or sprinkle over popcorn. Once you pop the popcorn, instead of adding salt, add some of this nutritional yeast. But what I'm going to add here, I have chili lime seasoning here, or gourmet seasoning. I have paprika. I have cumin, chili powder, garlic powder, black pepper, liquid aminos, which is another salt-free seasoning that's great in place of salt. And I also have some liquid smoke. And if I want to add a little tomato to it, I just use organic ketchup, organic tomato ketchup. Now I do have some tomato sauce over here that I mixed up for another dish, and I had some left, so I may just add this and be done with it. But anyway, so I want you to see these vegetables. They're becoming very translucent now. Okay, so I'm going to turn your attention towards this pot. We're going to turn it over this way. And to this, I'm going to go ahead and add my corn. Add the corn. Let that cook for a little bit. Turn this fire back up. I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid aminos. And I think right there was about a couple of tablespoons. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of liquid smoke. Because liquid smoke is for real, and you don't need a lot. a little bit of this chili lime spice. I typically shake it in about a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. Cumin, maybe about a half a teaspoon. Chili powder, a lot. A couple of tablespoons to begin with. Paprika, about a teaspoon. Garlic powder, not the same amount, a teaspoon. Black pepper, about a half a teaspoon of that. So that's all I'm going to do right now as far as seasonings before I add anything else. Man, this right here looks good. I could just eat this with these corn and this. Man, it smells good and it looks good. So, all right. So I'm going to turn that fire up. That smells wonderful, by the way. I'm going to add a little more water. Not water. I take that back. I'm sorry. I'm not adding water. I'm adding this organic stock. Okay, and now I shall add my beans. What am I looking for? Oh, did I add the nutritional yeast? No, I don't think I did. So I want to add some of that. I'm going to start off with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And I'm stirring this stuff up. And it smells just wonderful. And it looks even more wonderful. I'm going to add some more organic vegetable broth. And now I'm going to add a little bit of this seasoned tomato sauce that I made. To this mixture. Okay, I want you to see it. And see. I don't know if you can see. What I'll do is like this. I got an idea. One day I'm going to have a production team that just follow me all over the kitchen and I won't have to do this myself. But there you go. So there you have it. And I need to turn my lighting around just a little bit so you can see it. Okay, so you see that? How beautiful that is? And I'm getting ready to taste it in just a few minutes. I just need it to simmer for a little bit. I just need to taste the juice. Let me taste the juice. Oh my goodness. Beverly, you did it again, girl. You did it again. You did it again. Just going to add a little. Reverend loves juice with his chili and beans. He likes it juicy. So I'm trying to make it juicy for him. I'm going to add a little bit more of that sauce in there, but oh my goodness, this looks good and smells good. So I'm going to put a top on this, and I'm going to now begin to make this hot water cornbread, because I think I have time to do that. So we're going to let this simmer. Let me get a lid down here. Put over it. Take the rest of this stuff over here. All right. Close that. This. All right, so for my hot water cornbread, I'm going to need hot water. So I'm going to go ahead and begin to get that going. Let's see. I'll just use my teapot here. It's already got distilled water in there. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and let that begin to start boiling. So definitely going to need hot water. Set some of this other stuff to the side. Going to need a little bit of this salt. Put the rest of this parsley in here. Oh, while I'm looking at it, I've got this jackfruit. And if Stephanie Jackson sees this video, I want you to know that I'm going to do that stew that Tabitha Brown did. I'm going to try that stew because I have a can of this jackfruit. And I may even, do it tonight, let it cook overnight, and then in the morning wake up and I'll taste it for y'all like Tabitha did. I'll probably add some different things to it or some additional items to it. But it looked delicious, and I bought a can of this wondering what I was going to do with it. But I really think I would love to make that a simulation of beef stew, but with jackfruit. So that get ready for that one. Okay. All right. So hot water cornbread is so simple. The ingredients are simple. Slide all this back. Turn this down. Don't burn nothing. Okay, so you need hot water, which is boiling, a cup of hot water, a cup of cornmeal, and the cornmeal I'm using is medium ground cornmeal, whole grain stone ground. So it's going to have a little bit of a coarser texture, and that's okay. And you also need shortening, but I'm going to use vegan butter, a tablespoon of that. You need oil a couple of tablespoons of oil to cook it in. I'm going to try a couple of them in my air fryer, though. I'm going to do 2 in the air fryer and 2 in the pan. See how the ones in the air fryer come out. They probably won't have the flavor of being fried, but in trying to get away from oil, I want to just try them in the air fryer and see how they turn out. So I'm going to get my bowl here. I'm going to use this bowl. And I need a cup of this cornmeal. There we go. Dash your salt. Pinch. That's what I'm going to do, a pinch. This is very fine grained salt. So it's almost like picking up dust. It's almost like picking up dust. So, okay, and about a tablespoon of this vegan butter, or shortening we call it. And after I put the hot water in, then I'm going to add this tablespoon of the vegan butter. I'm going to make the dough, let it sit for a minute so it can cool off, then form the patties and put them in the pan to oil fry, and put a couple of them in the air fryer over here. So as I'm waiting on this oil, waiting on this water, I shall return. Just give me a minute. Hold your mute. Okay, I am back. And so I had to, I got a little flour on me. So when I made my cornmeal mixture, with the salt, the 1 cup of cornmeal, I forgot I'm using a different type of cornmeal. This is a medium grind, whole grain stone ground. So when I added my hot water, I didn't have the consistency I needed to form patties to make this beautiful, delicious hot water cornbread. So I had to pull out my oat flour, not regular flour, but oat flour, and I added about a half a cup to this cup of stone ground cornmeal with my pinch of salt, a half of a tablespoon of my vegan butter, And then I mixed that up and I added about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, pure maple syrup. Because Runwood, it likes its cornbread just with some sweetness to it. And then I fried them in the pan here. I've got 2 in the air fryer just to see how they turned out. But I'm gonna tell you what, this turned out. Now I'm gonna let you look at it, and you can see the texture of the cornmeal is different. So there's a little bit of a crunch to it, but that's really good. Really good. It's gonna be really good in those beans. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop up some of these beans so they can cool off. And I can taste them in your presence. I'm gonna put some in this bowl here with this juice. Okay, so there you have it. I'm gonna tilt this camera just a little bit so you can see this meatless chili. Okay, you see that? You see that? And I'm finna take this other half of the piece of hot water cornbread. I just got the pan. I'm gonna set it right there. I'm gonna set it right there in those beans right there. And then in a minute here, we're gonna taste that. Okay. So right now I'm chewing on the cornbread. Sorry about that. And the motor you hear in the background, that's my air fryer. I'm dying to see how that's going to turn out. But want to go ahead and taste this. Of course, I'll probably bring Runwood back on my Facebook page, Bev's Midday Cafe. So if you want to see Runwood taste it, hopefully I can get him to do it. If you want to see him taste it and get his vote on this meatless chili, then I'll have you come back on. But meanwhile, I just want to taste. I want to taste this chili. It smells heavenly. Y'all. That's the way chili supposed to taste. Even if it ain't got no meat. It's just perfect. You don't even miss the meat.